I'm taken away. Should I throw it down right now? Should I burn it down right now? Or save me a little for later?
We are at No Fun Club in Winnipeg, recording drums for Dr. Rift with my longtime friend and bandmate Edward Oakes.
I used to buy those magazines with all the metalheads, you know, like the metal magazines, the Hit Parader and stuff like that. And immediately you see the drum ads and start cutting them out and putting them on your wall. So you start hammering on phone books and pots and pans. You do that long enough, someone's gonna give you some drums. There was no question. That was kind of immediately what I knew I wanted to do.
My friend Jarrett, me and him were in a band together. It was like the first band that we took seriously in our lives, called Discovenant. We had a whole bunch of like techie, complex prog metal punk songs. Ed, as a drummer, simplified all of our crazy, riffy, techie songs and made them a lot more palatable and catchy with his punk and thrash and rock grooves. And we continued on together with that band for a while and remained friends, parted ways musically, and then just recently came back. And I reached out to him to drum for these Dr. Rift songs because my other band, Dizzy Mystics, was really techie, more rock oriented. And I was recently more craving catchier, more palatable, accessible psychedelic rock songs, and Ed always remained in my memory, and I just knew he was such a tasteful drummer to bring that less is more approach. He hits hard. It's kind of like this Bonham feel, you know? He's a big fellow, and he hits hard without even trying. He makes every piece of his kit ring to its full potential, and I knew he'd be the perfect guy to record this album with me. Yeah, man, I think most of that plus everything else, we're good. Sky Parade, do you want?
Sure. Yeah.
You got that's kind of the same world vibe in a way.
Yeah, we're gonna have to work out something there on this one, but. One thing about having such a clear sound here and everything mic'd up so clearly is you can really tell when something's not working.
Sky Parade became one of the, probably the biggest challenge in tracking drums. So maybe like just try that with more of a closed hat where it's just not as open, and then just open it up for the second half when the vocals start.
Try this, like. And then open that up?
Maybe that can be on the second time this whole section happens. But for the intro, play it more closed hat, that groove, and then up until the rock change.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, so we'll just experiment with that. We were like writing on the fly and kind of like back and forth deciding what the beat should be.
What I had coming in was like... You were talking about sort of a snare pattern to begin?
Yeah, and if that double, like the ghost snares between those prominent snares were there, and then have that 2 snare hits to finish the bar off after where that double kick would be. The intent of the song was to feel kind of like a crisscross of a marching band and a parade. It's like a 5/4 Mardi Gras feel. It's an odd time signature, but we have to have it pulse like it's a catchy, dancey thing.
What do you think of that?
You started that bar out with like a fluttered kind of marching band snare, and it sounded awesome. Like I don't know if it's too hard to do that every time, but that was awesome.
So we rehearsed the hell out of these songs, but you get here and it's like, it doesn't really, not exactly what we want. And sort of slowly worked out new parts for these songs that didn't exist yesterday.
Just make sure that ding isn't too close together. I think the snare and the kick and just the foundational thing you're playing there is a little too close together. Like boom, ka-boom, ka-boom, ka-boom. I think it sounded more like boom, ka-boom, ka-boom.
Okay.
When things start to get challenging and then you keep drilling and drilling and drilling, it's almost like you get stuck in your head a little bit.
You're on the spot and you know that the clock is running and it's an extremely expensive time. So it kind of puts a laser focus on things and a little bit extra pressure, I guess.
I think one of those were shorter. Like when you started doing the snare roll thing, it was a shorter time sig. Yeah, that's right. Sometimes blowing through the frustration gets the take, and sometimes having a breather, coming back fresh. Most of the time, that's what happens, and that's what gets the take. Is just making sure you're not too frustrated.
Getting into this sort of situation where you're aware of the pressure, you're aware of the time. It does help, and it does help you. It pushes you. You want to like really deliver.
Yeah, you had it down foundationally, for sure.
You can throw in whatever drummer joke you want, but the ear is not quite as sophisticated. But came up with a part and then just drilled it until consensus was it was good. Kyle and I played together for years, and we're very close friends. It makes me incredibly happy to be involved. I find that it's pretty exciting music. You know, it's got good motion, kind of makes you want to move, which is, I think, the idea. So hopefully when people hear it, they just start involuntarily moving.